Hi everyone, welcome back to my lab and today's video in which we're going to be looking at the brand new Lethal Cosmetics and Theresa is Dead collaboration. I did pick up the entire collection, which features an eyeshadow palette as well as 3 gel liners. This is my first time purchasing from Lethal Cosmetics directly. I've purchased some of their products in the past from Camera Ready Cosmetics, but I haven't gotten a chance to try them. So this is going to be kind of like my second impressions using the product because due to some recording snafus, I couldn't get the first video out. So I've actually had some time to play with the palette and I'm ready to share my thoughts with you. Before we get into the video, if you're new here, I'm Yori. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. I hope you're going to enjoy this one. And if you do, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up while you're watching and consider subscribing and joining our makeup family. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for all the love and support, and a special thank you to the first 5 commenters on my previous video. Those that have YouTube channels will have the YouTube logo and be linked in the description box down below in case you're looking for some fun new channels to watch. Now without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into this video. I'm going to have timestamps in this video, so if you're interested in any specific section, feel free to jump around. Let's go ahead and look at the collection. The collection consists of an eyeshadow palette. This is the Lethal Cosmetics and Theresa's Dead Lethal is Dead palette. This is labeled a pressed powder palette with a net weight of 14.4 grams of product. The palette is made in Germany. It has a 24-month shelf life and is labeled cruelty-free and vegan. So the palette comes inside a sleeve which is matched by the palette itself. It's a very nice cardboard palette, and when you lift it up you do have a very nice mirror, and here are your shades. It's a 9-pan eyeshadow palette where you have 3 shimmers and the others are mattes. Please forgive the background noise. I'm filming on the 4th of July, and so the firecrackers are only going to get worse as it goes later into the day. When I first got the palette, I was thinking, oh, it's kind of muted in tone. The colors are not super bright. It's a colorful palette, but not so vibrant that it's a rainbow palette. There's a nice variety of light and dark shades for you to get varying depths in your eyeshadow look, especially with the way that I like to do my makeup. I paid $37 for the palette. Right now it's sold out, but I believe that they have a pre-order available where you can receive the palette, I don't know, maybe like in August. This is not uncommon for an indie brand such as Lethal Cosmetics. I've had to wait quite some time to receive my packages from indie brands, and patience is not my strong suit, but they do have such creative color stories and unique palettes that it's kind of worth the wait, you know? I also picked up the trio of liners. So these are called their Side Effects gel liners. There's 5 grams of product in each, and it's supposed to be smudge and waterproof precision. It's an all-day, everyday liner that stays matte and doesn't budge. There's 3 of them in the collection, and looking at this one, it's also made in Germany. 6-month shelf life on these, also cruelty-free and vegan. Here's what the liners actually look like. They are small pots. They have the Lethal Cosmetics logo on the lid, a sticker with the label on the bottom, and when you open it up, there is like a little plastic stopper where they tell you to retain that so that you can retain the product fresh for as long as possible. There were 3 shades in the collection. The gray one is called Entity. The one that I'm wearing on my eyes today is this beautiful blue one. It's called Spectre. And then there is a beautiful kind of lime green color. This one is called Ectoplasm, and you can kind of see I've been playing with that one in the past as well. For the trio of gel liners, I paid $41.85. And I believe that is a discount over purchasing gel liners individually, although they were available for purchase individually if you were looking at a specific shade. Let's go ahead and take a look at some swatches of the palette. The shade names are really cute. She said in her reveal video that they were inspired by older horror movies, so it's got names like Straight to VHS, Ancient Evil, and Spellbound. Those are going to be your shimmer shades. And then the matte shades are The Final Girl, Watery Grave, Body Snatched, Predator, Creature Feature, and Vengeful Spirit. I've gotten the opportunity to play with all the shades with the exception of Predator and Creature Feature, but they all swatched very similarly. And I have to say I was really impressed when swatching the mattes especially. The shimmer shades, they seem a little bit thicker, and you'll be able to see that texture as I swatch on my arms. I didn't pay anything for shipping for my order, but my total order cost was actually $194.95 because I picked up other items from the collection. Not the specific collaboration, but just the Lethal Cosmetics line. I picked up 2 eyeshadows, and these are supposed to be like multi-chrome eyeshadows. I'm just going to show you one of them. You really can't tell much by the packaging, and they're really hard to get out of here. So it's like a holographic packaging. There it goes. And this is what they look like. They are like the Stila type eyeshadows, but these are multi-chrome. I picked up the shade Payload, which is kind of a blue-purple one. And the other one that I picked up, let me go ahead and open it so I can show it to you. The other one is called Cypher, and of course it's green. You all know my love for green eyeshadow. So this one shifts kind of green to gold. And with these, just in case you're curious, these have a 6-month shelf life, and they're also made in Germany. So I picked 2 of those, and each of those retailed for $24. And then I picked up a trio of what they're calling the Destiny, Roots, and Memento eyeshadow trio. And they're these little mini palettes. I've been seeing a lot of these on YouTube. They come in these little sleeves, and they have different color stories. So this one is the Roots palette. And interesting with these, they do have little holes on the back of the palette, which implies that you can pop them out. They're going to be magnetic, so you can rearrange that. I didn't notice that on the back of the Theresa palette. This one is called Destiny, and it's the lighter tone of the 3 palettes that I bought. And the final one is Memento, which is this beautiful like pink burgundy color story, which kind of looks similar to the eyeshadow look that I'm wearing today. So in actuality, if I'm honest with myself, I was most interested in the Memento and the Roots palette, so these 2. And the one that I showed you second looks a little bit lighter in tone than I'm normally accustomed to, but for some reason I cannot resist a bundle price. So those are all the items that I picked up. I can feature the multi-chrome shadows as well as the mini palettes in another video if you're interested. You can let me know in the comment section down below, but I wanted to focus on Theresa's collaboration today. Super excited to support Theresa's collaboration. I've been subscribed to her for a really long time since she was a much smaller channel. I find her so funny and so relatable, and I think that she did a really great job with the collaboration. I chit-chat with you with regard to the color story selection and everything during application, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip to the demo of how I created this eye look using the items from the collection, and I will be back to share my final thoughts at the end of the video. I'm very excited to play with this palette today. It's not really my first time playing with it because I actually received it a few days ago. I'm surprised how early I got it. I got it very quickly, but I think it could be because I actually placed an order for the entire Theresa is Dead collab, but also a couple of other things, so my total went quite high, and I figured that might have entitled me to some sort of shipping promotion with the website. I was trying to check out so quickly I wasn't even fully paying attention, but I received it quite quickly, and I actually tried filming with it the other day, but unfortunately my microphone, the battery ran out, and so I lost all the audio. So this is really going to be like my second impression working with the palette. I'm going to start out with this shade. It's called the Final Girl, and I'm going to use that as my initial transition. Now, due to my microphone snafu, I got the opportunity to work with the Lethal Cosmetics formula for the first time. This is actually my first time purchasing from them. Actually, not quite. I purchased some Lethal Cosmetics from the Camera Ready Cosmetics website in the past, but I haven't gotten around to using the palettes I purchased from there just yet, which is so typical. So again, this was going to be my first time trying it out, and one thing that I noticed is that with the mattes, they are really pigmented and really build up really nicely. When I first saw the palette revealed, I was like, wow, it's not quite what I expected. I didn't really know what to expect. Well, I thought there was gonna be a lot of green because she loves green eyeshadow just like I do, and then I thought, okay, there's gonna be a lot of yellow because I remember she dedicated multiple videos to yellow palettes. And then I thought, okay, lately she's been liking a lot of neutrals, so then the palette is gonna have a lot of neutrals. I was all over the place with my expectations, and it's funny given that this was only going to be a 9-pan palette. So I was actually surprised when I saw the color story revealed. I'm gonna deepen out the outer V and the crease a little bit with the shade Vengeful Spirit. So like I was saying, I was really surprised when I saw what the palette actually looked like. It's pretty. I find it really pretty. It was just not exactly what I was expecting, really. And now that I've gotten the opportunity to play with it a little bit, I feel that it's a really wearable, colorful Lethal palette, which is really nice. And now that I've played with the formula a little bit, I've learned that the mattes blend really nicely. And even in the videos that she did talking about the palette, you know, and showing, I think she did 3 looks with them, she was blending a lot of these more maroon shades with the blue and making purple. And the reason you can do that is because the mattes blend so nicely. I mean, they blend really, really easily. These 2 shades, is not surprising to see them blend so nicely since they're in the same color family, but in the looks that she was creating, she was blending the blue and the maroon shade, and they were blending really nicely into a purple tone. When I initially filmed with the palette, I was actually filming with my face makeup already completed, and that was despite the fact that she had said that the palette has some glitter fallout, or glitter bukkake, I think she calls it. But I was trying to work with it that way, and I did get glitter fallout, especially when I was working with my fingertips if I wasn't applying the shadows over a sticky base. And when I first demo an eyeshadow palette, I tried to avoid using sticky bases or any other kind of assists so that you can see how the eyeshadows are actually going to perform on their own. So I did have a little bit of glitter fallout, and so today I'm gonna go back to my usual of doing my eye makeup first. I don't know why I keep fighting against my own nature. I really do prefer to do my eye makeup first. It's what I enjoy doing. I'm just applying a little bit more of the Final Girl shade on the inner crease portion of the eye and blending that all together. Next, I'm going to go into the shade Ancient Evil, which is such a pretty shimmer. It's such a pretty peachy shimmer shade. I absolutely love it. So you can see that the shade, it can apply quite thick if you're not careful. So I actually prefer to start kind of small and then build up from there. And the parts where I started noticing, like, see right now I'm getting glitter fallout, and I'm not concerned about it at all since I can wipe it off very easily and then do my face makeup afterward. In her 3 looks video, she applied NYX glitter glue, and a lot of other people that are more familiar with the Lethal Cosmetics formula, I've seen them apply the eyeshadows with glitter glue as well. So that's an issue that can absolutely be avoided. I'm gonna go ahead and deepen out the outer V where I kind of lost some of that intensity. On the inner corner, I'm going to use that light yellow shade. It's called Straight to VHS. This one, I think more than any of the other shades in the palette, has the most fallout in terms of the glitter fallout. I'm gonna pause here and catch up the other eye. I purchased the 3 liners as well. They call these their, let me see, one of the boxes. They're called the Side Effects Gel Liners. And yesterday I was playing with this one, which is the shade Ectoplasm, because it's green, and of course I can't resist a good green shade. So I was applying it over a similar look to this one, and I was wondering if it was going to be pigmented enough to go over kind of the maroon shades. And it did, but I didn't like the way the colors contrasted together, and then I was playing with it a little bit, and I was struggling a little bit with this one, but I'm new to this formula, so I figured today I would try the blue one. This one is in the shade Spectre, and that's what it looks like. I want to create a wing with it just to get a feel for how the eyeliner works. I have this brush from Sephora. It's the number 26. It's actually labeled Pro Gel Liner, so I kind of want to work with this one. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to create a wing with this. This one seems to be working a lot better than the Ectoplasm shade, but I was using a different brush with that one, and I was finding that I had to layer over it a couple of times and just keep layering and layering, and when it did that, or when I did that, it started kind of flaking a little bit. So maybe the secret is to kind of get it all in one go. I mean, I can't complain about that application. That's pretty good. It almost looks purple since it's kind of next to the maroon shades. This is a much better application than I got the other day for sure. Theresa actually says that she uses these on her waterline, and because she has really sensitive eyes. And I've been telling her for years now to try the MAC, what are they called? The MAC chromographic eye pencils, because to me, those are just absolutely amazing in the waterline. They're very pigmented and they come in beautiful, beautiful bright colors. I don't think she's tried them yet. but she places these in her waterline and she has said that she gets really good results with them. Of course, my wings are not even, but compared to how I did it the other day, this is a much better result. So I think there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve with these. A lot of people don't prefer to use gel liners for wing liners and things, but I think that the result is actually really nice. It comes with these little stoppers that does say to keep them on there, to keep them good as long as possible. But yeah, I have no complaints about this color actually. I think it looks really good. I'm going to take a break here to do my complexion. I'm actually filming a complexion full of cream products featuring the brand new Sonia G Fusion brushes. And so I will go ahead and be right back so we can work on the lower lash line. All right, we're back and ready to finish this eye look. I was tempted to put blue on the lower lash line. How pretty would that be? It would really go along with the eyeliner. But I kind of want to see how the liners work on the waterline. So instead of doing that, I think I'll just go ahead and use a combination of the two shades I used in my crease on the lower lash line, and I will apply the liner in my waterline. So I'm going to go ahead and use the shade The Final Girl first. If you're curious about the other products on my face, I'm going to have them linked in the description box down below, but also I'm going to be having that video coming up in which I show you my completely cream product complexion routine. I did cheat. I used an under eye setting powder, but that was it. That applied beautifully. Now for the deeper shade, I'm going to use this tiny brush. It is a tight line liner brush, so maybe this is what I should be using for the, yeah, I'll hold on to that for the gel liner. And I'm going to use this kind of flat definer to use the shade Vengeful Spirit just on the outer part of my eye. All right, and let's give it a quick blend. These mattes perform really nicely. I think that it's my favorite formula in the palette. The shimmers are nice too, but I'm really impressed with the quality of the mattes. I do need to re-intensify that straight to VHS shade. I have to be really careful because this is where we can get some fallout. Okay, that's not too bad at all. Just a little bit of it got covered up when I was applying my concealer. So back to Spectre, and I'm going to use that tight line brush, and I'm going to try to get this in my waterline. Oh, it actually does go in there really easily. Wow, that's really nice. Look at that. That actually brings the blue back because I'm still wearing the Charlotte Tilbury mascara, the little sample size I got, the push-up lashes. I'm impressed. Look at these lashes. That is pretty darn good. And this waterline is pretty darn blue. That is really pretty. I'm so excited. I'm going to go ahead and catch up the other eye, pick out some kind of lip color, and be back to show you the final look. Here's a close-up of the makeup look using the Theresa is Dead and Lethal Cosmetics collaboration. In this video, of course, I focused on the eye products, but if you're curious about anything else that I'm wearing on my face, it will be linked in the description box down below and will be in an upcoming video as well. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing all the items in action. I know I didn't use every single shade or every single liner, but I can give you my thoughts. Let's go ahead and start with the eyeshadow palette. Like I said when I was applying it, I really like how creative she got with this color story. It really is wearable color. If you're a person who wants to get into color but you're maybe a little intimidated by it, a palette like this is going to be really good because you have both a lighter and a deeper shade in similar tones. So for instance, the ones I stuck to in these maroon family, the Final Girl and Vengeful Spirit, they blend into each other beautifully. Also, if you wanted to work with the blues, Watery Grave and Predator would also blend together nicely, as would the two in the green family, even though they're kind of different colors. I didn't realize right away how cleverly she actually selected the colors, in that you can actually use this blue to deepen out any of the other colors. If you use it to deepen out some of these more maroon shades, it's going to give you purple. You can also use it with the green because blue and green blend into each other really well as well. So you actually have a lot of variety within just a small collection of colors. I think it was really carefully selected, and I didn't notice that really until I started working with the palette and I watched her video where she was blending the Predator shade and the Vengeful Spirit shade, and she was getting a beautiful purple look with it. So it's going to actually be really user-friendly. The only colors I wouldn't really recommend blending are maybe like the blue and the red, since those are more opposites on the color wheel. But other than that, it's going to function really beautifully. I found the mattes really easy to use, not too much fallout with the mattes at all, and they adhere to my lid beautifully. The shimmers are a little bit more challenging to work with, and she mentioned this during her reveal video. I did find that I was getting fallout when I was working with brushes with the shimmers. In the occasion that I mentioned that I had already done my complexion, I did have glitter fallout. And again, today when I was applying it, I had glitter fallout, but since I did my eye makeup first, it really doesn't bother me. And typically I am the type of person that does her eye makeup first for that very reason. I just prefer to work quickly and not worry too much about protecting my face makeup. I've seen other people work with the palettes where they work with glitter glue, and I would say if you want to avoid glitter fallout, working with a sticky base is going to make it much easier for you. The shimmers were selected really nicely as well, so that you can create a variety of looks, and the shade Straight to VHS works really well as an inner corner highlight, and I can imagine it would do so with any of the other colors that you select in the palette. Now, in terms of the way that the palette is organized, I'm the kind of person that will walk by a table and center, you know, if there's flowers, I have to have them exactly in the center because I can't help myself. And so I was thinking that with the color story, it would have been really nice if it had been arranged maybe this purple shade on top of the blues, and then the two more red shades with Ancient Evil on top of those two, and then the yellow on top of the greens, because then you can see like columns, which may make it easier for a beginner to see color stories or different like monochromatic looks like they can do with the palette. And so that was something I thought right away, because then I would have all the shimmers across the top and it would be so organized. But this is just me and I can't help myself. But I think the color selection was so nice. Like I mentioned, the back of the palette doesn't have those holes, so I'm not sure if these are going to be magnetized, but as much as I like to organize things, I'm never one that likes to rearrange my palettes, because since I do YouTube videos, I like to know what the shade names are, and I like to keep the palette in the way the creator intended it to be. Moving on to the gel liners, these are so fun. How fun are these shades? Now I can definitely see Ectoplasm and Spectre combining with the palette really well. The gray one is called Entity, and I don't see this one as much. But now that I've gotten a chance to play with these a little bit, they're really nice gel liners. I think that they're very similar to the ones by Melt. I would say that the ones by Melt maybe have the advantage that they layer a little bit better in my opinion. I have a little bit more working time with the ones from Melt, but once I get the hang of these, they apply really nicely and the colors are so special. I'm particularly interested in the green shade because, like I said, I love greens, and especially kind of like these acid, dingy type greens. They're so beautiful. I actually applied liner over a similar look that I'm wearing today with this one, and I was able to obtain enough opacity to cover the darker red tones that are on my eyes, and it worked just fine, but I was layering it a little bit too much, and so I got a tiny little bit of cracking because I was working with them a little bit too slowly and trying to layer a little bit too slowly again. So there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve with these, but once you get it, how fun is that? I mean, you saw how surprised I was at how easy it was to get these in my waterline and how vibrant the color was. So these are fun, and the colors, they're not something that you're going to find just with any brand. I think that they're really pretty, and of course, Ectoplasm is particularly special. So with these, there is a learning curve, but if there's a shade that stands out to you, like for instance, me personally, I would definitely pick up Ectoplasm. Blue and gray are a little bit more common, but this color is really different. Those are my thoughts on my collection. I really like the look that I came up with. If you were to omit the blue liner, it would definitely be something more wearable, something you can wear to work without anybody objecting, I would say, even in the most conservative of offices. But me personally, I love to play with color, and when I take time to put makeup on my face, I want to go all out. Many congratulations to Theresa on the collection. How cool is that to have your name on a palette? That is so cool. And she did such a great job selecting the shades. It's not going to be something that you have from, you know, any old palette. Like, I think it's a definite unique color story, and she chose the colors really well. Like, she keeps saying, oh, I'm not a makeup artist, I'm just a makeup enthusiast, or something like that, she said. But I think that there was a lot of thought put into these colors. Also, when she filmed her 3 looks with the palette, she was saying how challenging it was, and it really is challenging to film like an actual tutorial of an eye look, and she did a great job. Her looks were really pretty. So congratulations, Theresa, again. Beautiful, beautiful collection. Very happy to have it. I do recommend it if you are interested in picking it up. My personal favorites from the collection are the eyeshadow palette, and I do like the Ectoplasm gel liner because of the unique shade. I haven't used the gray one yet, but Spectre, if you like blue eyeliner, is very, very easy to use. You saw that one in the demo today. I think that's everything from me today. I hope you enjoyed today's video and found it helpful. If you have any questions that I didn't address, please leave those in the comment section down below and I'll be happy to get back to you. Other than that, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget that big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you again for spending a few minutes of your day with me. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon on my next one. Bye-bye.